Hello friends, and welcome to another edition of Transformational Astrology. I'm Henry Seltzer, and we want to talk about the new moon, which really starts off this week of the Monday, the 20th of February. And it starts it off because it happens really late the night before, early morning. So really Monday is the first day of this new moon, even though it happens around midnight on Sunday. Let me show you the chart because I think it's very interesting. This particular chart is very, very powerful, and I think we want to take a look at that. So here's the chart, and let's see. As you can see, it's a Pisces new moon right at the very beginning of the sign. Here we have Pisces, here we have Aries, here we have the rest of the signs. And as we look at this, of course, it's decoding the interpreting and decoding the aspects between the planets that tell us what this new moon is all about. And remember that it is a new moon, so therefore it's going to be more powerful. It's going to really lead off the whole week and the whole 30 days right up until the 21st of March, which is the next new moon. And what we have going is really quite significant here, because as the new moon, it takes place right at the first degree, second degree really, at 2 degree, the second degree counting wise. In Pisces, we also have Saturn nearby. So this is a new moon with Saturn, but it also makes a 30-degree aspect to Pluto here at the 29-degree mark of Capricorn. And Venus is at the 29-degree mark of Pisces. So this is a powerful sextile, partile sextile between Venus and Pluto. Now that tells us that relationships are involved in this new moon, and that going to depth in relationship is what's really involved in this new moon. And as we do, of course, Pisces itself goes to depth, doesn't it? Pisces is the 12th house in general represents the unconscious. Pisces is a sign that goes with that 12th house. And the unconscious is really important in spite of the fact that it is hard to track, hard to get really on top of. But it influences our behavior, and the more we know about it, the better off we are, which is my constant work when I do counseling work. So our relationships are involved, very closely involved, with the new moon configuration itself, and with Saturn, which represents limitations. We may run into obstacles unexpectedly. I say unexpected because there's also a powerful component of Uranus, the trickster, Uranus, which is always surprises and unlikely revelations that we didn't expect to run into. So the reason I say that Uranus is very key in this new moon configuration is because there is a quintile aspect, which is a 72-degree aspect, a fifth of the circle, from the sun and moon to Uranus. And not only that, Uranus is actually also in a quintile or biquintile aspect, 2/5 to the new planet Maki in Libra. So I want to talk about these new planets. So Maki is the creation god of the Rapa Nui people, mythologically, and we have to do research to find out what that means in terms of its impact in charts. And I've been doing a lot of research on it. I've been lecturing on it. I'm really convinced now that these are very powerful, as well as Pluto, which, the first of these Kuiper Belt object planets or dwarf planets is Pluto. And then when they found Eris, which is represented by this symbol here, it's at 24 Aries right now, they decided they had to call these some other kind of planet because there's so many out there in the Kuiper Belt. I call them KBO planets. I think it's simpler. So we have Pluto and we have Eris, both kind of important lately. It's not quite as strong. Eris has been in a very strong position lately, but not so much now. But also we have Haumea and Maki. Haumea at 0 degrees of Scorpio. And that was the creation goddess of the Hawaii people. And both of these are really about connection to nature in a very profound way, which really means going to depth within the psyche. Our psychic depths are part of us, and they're part of our bodies, they're part of nature. We have a connection to them that really can be described as elements of natural law. What's the right thing? What's right relationship? What's right action? And what's the truth? These people with prominent How May are often truth tellers. They're people that understand what's right and what's not right, and what the way we should be treating each other with kindness. And the old saying is to treat other people the way you would like to be treated yourself. So these are powerful, and they go to depth, and they're going to become more part of Western astrology as they become better known. And they are both very prominent in this new moon configuration. I started to say that here is Uranus making this quintile aspect, or the sun and moon making a quintile aspect to Uranus. And Uranus is aligned in a biquintile as close as, I think it's 2/10 of a degree. Yes, with Maki-Maki. And then there's the quintile aspect within 2 degrees that the new moon makes also to Maki-Maki. So we have Maki-Maki as the focal point of a quintile yod in this new moon configuration. So and Uranus is involved in this whole thing. So there's surprises, there's intuition, deep intuition. Uranus and Taurus is a combination that tells us to look under the covers of the obvious events, that there's the surface and there's also what goes on in a transpersonal way. So, and then Haumea being also one of these transpersonal planets that tells us what's within us at our deepest levels as part of the unconscious. Being part of this configuration, I believe that we have an unusual opportunity at this time, to really dig in and see what's under the surface. And the fact that Venus is so involved means that we're dealing with relationship stuff at the same moment. And incidentally, Venus is in a very interesting place because 29 degrees of Pisces, 57 minutes, about to cross into Aries. And when it does, it will be in Mars' sign of Aries, meaning action orientation. It's an hour after the actual new moon. So we can expect there's sort of a prominence to Venus, therefore, and we can expect that relationship stuff will come up. And when it does, it presents an opportunity, does it not? That we have a chance to really see what's the basis for this. It's easy to just look at what's going on and blame something for it. Say, oh, that was a terrible idea to get involved with this person, or that person is somebody I can't trust, they're going to blow up on me or whatever. Or we can look at more concretely what our part in it is and how the depths of the other person and the depths of ourself is integrating with the whole situation, and really kind of take a good hard look at it. And that's our opportunity right now. So it's very important to recognize that. I think it's a very interesting week and month that comes from now until the 21st, as I say, of March, 30 days away. And another thing that we might want to think about is that we have a pretty strong aspect, a sextile between Mercury at 12 degrees and almost 13 of Aquarius. And look, here's Chiron, the wounded healer, at 13 degrees of Aries. So that's a almost perfect sextile, less than a degree apart. And, you're also, when we think about the fact that this is Mercury has to do with consciousness, with our mental process, with awareness. This is the awareness of inner wounding. So this is another reinforcement of that same theme, with Jupiter actually nearby, and Jupiter, incidentally, exactly opposite to Maki-Maki, is another strength of this configuration of these new planets. So actually, I didn't mention, but Pluto makes a square with this 0 position, 0 degrees Scorpio position. And then also the new moon and Saturn, that kind of averages out to 0 degrees, you see, makes a perfect trine to this position of Haumea. So that's why I say these are so powerful right now, and so much a part of what we're up to. So I'm hoping that this is helpful. I'm hoping that we might be able to take a second look at things as they come up and try to understand a little bit better what's going on in the depths within us. So that's the message for this new moon configuration that's kind of ruling our initial February 20th week and the rest of the 30-day cycle. And I do hope this information is helpful. My purpose is really to try to help to understand a little bit better about astrology and about how it tells us what's going on within us. And it's kind of a miracle that it does. It shows that we have a mystical connection to each other and to the universe. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and best of luck with everything. So long.